DJ PK, and we're joined by Mike Folta, Utah Mammoth radio voice. His appearance brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. Love being introed to that music, by the way. I feel like I should have a gold medal in between my teeth or something like that. But been enjoying watching the Winter Olympics so far and ready for some of the big elimination games in hockey to get going here.
Group play's all done. The U.S. sails through 3 wins in 3 games, plus 11 in goal differential, just dominating. Do you see, you just said a gold medal in your teeth, do you see Clayton Keller biting a gold medal in a photo a few days from now?
Well, that's I guess, the big question, and it's not just the U.S. and Canada, right? I think that's what we're all looking forward to. That's what we all want to see. These 2 rival countries go head-to-head in a best-on-best setting like what we have in the Olympics. There are some other good teams in this tournament. You have a really good Sweden team that the U.S. could potentially have to play on Wednesday. The Americans will play the winner of Sweden and Latvia. You've got, a Czech team that has some good goaltenders that could get hot, but really none of these other teams have showed the type of dominance that the U.S. and Canada has had. And so it feels like we're on a U.S.-Canada collision course, which is, of course, what we all want. The Americans haven't looked as dominant as the Canadians have. Boy, you look up front for Team Canada. They've got Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon and this 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini kid who's not scared of anything and is tied for the league or tied for the tournament lead in goals. He's been fantastic. And Crosby, like the Americans can't necessarily match the Canadian firepower up front, but I think the Americans have the better goaltending situation and probably some more dynamic defensemen as well. So that'll be a great matchup. I don't think we've seen Team USA play its best yet. I think they're still coming together, and hopefully they can before that gold medal game.
Keller had a couple of games he didn't play, then got in there. From your perspective, you think he's comfortable with what's going on? I mean, he's a younger guy, but he's not that young.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like in an all-star situation like this where everybody's good. It's tough when you're used to being the top guy on your team, used to being the captain, the leader of the Utah Mammoth, and you go to Team USA and you're just another one of this group of great players. Now, we actually did just a few minutes ago see some reports online from some reporters who were there in Milan saying that Keller is taking line rushes with the third line again at practice. So that typically means that he's practicing with a group that's getting ready to play. Yeah. So it sounds like he's going to be playing in this next game on Wednesday, a quarterfinal game between the winner of Sweden and Latvia. So that's good news for Mammoth fans who want to see Clayton Keller play. He played the other day against Germany. I thought he looked good. Didn't have any points, but played alongside Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres and Dylan Larkin, the captain of the Detroit Red Wings. And I thought was really strong, made some good plays in the offensive zone, made some clean reads in the defensive zone to help break the puck out. The Americans were never under too much fire in that game against Germany. But I thought Keller played well enough to earn another chance, and it looks like he's going to get it.
Peterka had an assist in the 5-1 U.S. win over Germany. He got an assist on the German goal. What about the other guys in the Olympics? What do you think of their Olympic experiences, and what do you expect going forward?
Yeah, I think J.J. Peterka for Team Germany has been the most impactful of the Utah Mammoth who are playing at the Olympics right now. He's had a few assists. He's playing along with Tim Stützle. Those are probably the second and third best German forwards in the world right now, with Leon Draisaitl being the best. But Peterka is playing alongside his old buddy Stützle. Those two played together back in World Juniors for Team Germany, and they've been really effective together. Stützle's been really, really dynamic for Team Germany, and Peterka has helped him do so. So That's been encouraging to see. He actually scored a goal this morning, J.J. Peterka, against France, with the winner of Germany and France playing Slovakia, I believe, on Wednesday. But J.J.'s been good. We've seen Olli Maatta play third pair minutes for Team Finland. And guys, funny enough, we haven't seen Karel Vejmelka for Team Czechia at all yet. And they're playing Denmark right now, and it looks like he's not going to be in the game again, which the Czechs have three good goaltenders. Lukáš Dostal, the Anaheim Ducks. Dan Vladar has been good for the Philadelphia Flyers this year. But you're talking about a guy in Karel Vejmelka who leads the NHL in wins right now, and he hasn't gotten in a game for the Czech Republic, and that's surprising because the Czechs let in quite a few goals the first two games they played. So I honestly don't know why we haven't seen him. If I worked for the Mammoth PR department, which I don't, but if I did, I would be spinning it as, yeah, the guy who's played the most games as a goalie in the last year is getting some rest, and the Mammoths are going to be able to lean on that over the last 25 games of the regular season. But I really expected to see Veggie at some point for Team Czechia, but not so yet.
Well, you know what the Czechia doctors say, no veggies, no good for you.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I knew you were bilingual, PK. I just didn't know it was Czech that you could speak as well.
Yeah, sure. What do you need? You talk about them getting rest or him getting rest for when the season resumes. What's the plan as far as when they reconvene? Is it like a little mini camp? What you know what's going to happen?
Well, practices have started already. Today, actually. Practice starts today. So some of the guys have been skating for a few days already now. These guys need some time off to shut it down, but they don't like to be off the ice that much during the season. So, like, I know a few of the guys went to some sunny places and shut it down for a few days, but I saw a couple of the guys in the airport like when I got back on Thursday, and they're like, "Yeah, we're skating here pretty soon." So, practice starts today for the guys who are not with the Olympic teams, of course. And then even before that, guys were getting on the ice, just kind of feeling it out a little bit and getting back to work. And everybody knows what's at stake for this Mammoth team. Playoffs is still the expectation, but it's not going to be easy to stay in this playoff spot that they have. There's a bunch of teams around them that are within striking distance, within a game or two of knocking the Mammoths out of that playoff spot. And Utah has to be really on its toes once we restart the season, and any lapse could be a death knell against your playoff hopes. So we're starting practice again today for everybody besides those at the Olympics, and for me. I'm taking the optional, and I'm back home again in Indiana, as we say, getting some more R&R, as us broadcasters like to do. But practice starts today, and guys, remember this too. We were talking about Vejmelka. Last year, Karel Vejmelka started, I believe it was 23 of the last 24 games of the season. Or I think it was 24 of the last 25. He started 23 straight at one point to end the season. So the Utah Hockey Club last year leaned on him down the stretch of the season when they were trying to punch their ticket to the playoffs. I don't know if we're going to see that type of workload again this year, but in the last 25 games of the season, I think heading into that, it's a good thing for Veggie to get some rest during this Olympic break and not have to face 40 shots a game like he would if he was playing against Team Canada or Team U.S.
This is, for most of this generation, this first chance they've had a chance to play in the Olympics. It's been so long since the NHL sent there. And obviously, whenever leagues let their players go do stuff internationally, we've heard NBA owners talk about this too. there's a risk of injury, and it can impact the playoff race. And one of the teams, because it's like six or seven teams for 3 or 4 spots, however you want to count it up in the West, one of the teams that Utah's battling is the LA Kings, and the Kings lose Kevin Fiala. He's stretchered off the ice. It's a broken leg, and he's like their second leading scorer. He's basically been a 25-goal, 40-assist guy for them over the last couple of years. So is this the kind of thing teams are going to want to do, or are people going to, the owners who don't want to do this and the people in the Players Association who don't want to do this are going to look at this and say, hey, this is exactly why we shouldn't be doing this. Let's not do this again. Or has the rest of the tournament been so good that people are going to want to do it again in 4 years, and more importantly, in 8 years when the games are here?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Like, the owners and the general managers hate it, right? Because a guy gets hurt, and what do they get? They get nothing. It just hurts their chances. Now, in the Kings' case, they lose Kevin Fiala, who right now is their second leading scorer. He's done for the rest of the year. Good news for the Kings is that they just traded for Artemi Panarin from the New York Rangers, and he's one of the best goal scorers, one of the best players in the NHL right now. And so they're not made whole by losing Kevin Fiala necessarily, but they've got an even better player coming in to add to their roster after the Olympics. So it's not all doom and gloom in Kingsland right now down in LA. But you're right. Like, the owners and GMs hate it. It happened last year where Matthew Tkachuk got injured for Team USA and missed basically the last portion of the regular season. He got injured in 4 Nations. And then came back in the playoffs. Charlie McAvoy got banged up at the 4 Nations and was hurt for Boston. So this stuff happens. It happens, especially in the high leverage games when you're going, what, to the wall trying to win a medal for your country. And I think the allure of the Olympics is just so big because it's such a big deal for the players. Like, the players are going to fight tooth and nail for this. And it's such a big deal for the sport, too. Like, it's good for the sport, especially with this Olympics in Milan. And you think of how the U.S. has been trying to grow the game in Europe. Like, the NFL has these international games, right? They're going to Australia. They're going to they go to Mexico. They go to places where they're trying to grow the game. The NHL has done this, too. They've done it with Germany. They've done it with Sweden. They've made it a point to bring the NHL game to Europe to try and strengthen hockey roots over in that part of the world. And so, especially this year where you're in Italy and you can try and strengthen these hockey fan bases in Europe, like, it's a slam dunk from the league office point of view. It's just not maybe something the owners are going to see like that direct return on investment from right away. And that sucks when your second best player goes down due to injury. But fingers crossed we don't have any more big injuries the rest of the way. It is, I will say too, the international game, like when it's controlled by the IIHF, the International Hockey Federation, it's still physical, but it tends to be a little bit less physical. Now, I think playing on an NHL-sized rink, like if we get U.S.-Canada, that's going to look like an NHL game and then some with the physicality. But for the most part, these games are not as physical as NHL playoff games. The international game just isn't necessarily played that way. Like, they don't allow fighting, stuff like that. So it is a little different. But, yeah, owners hate it. Everybody else, we love it.
Now, Indiana, I mean, it's a screwy state. Let's just call it like it is, right? I mean, you've got multiple time zones in the same state. I mean, what the heck is that? So I don't know where you are. You just said you're in the state. So are you going to be doing anything today, either at 5:30 or 6:30? That's important to you?
6:30 Eastern time, I will be in Section 113 of Mackey Arena, home to my Purdue Boilermakers. We have the number one ranked team for now in the land, marching into the Holy Land, marching to Tippecanoe County and Mackey Arena. And I don't believe Purdue has ever beaten a number one team, which is crazy to me. But this is a great chance for us against the Michigan Wolverines tonight. So I am going to be I'm going to be an alum. I'm going to be a big man on campus. I'm going to be taking in some great college basketball, and then on Wednesday getting ready for a quarterfinal game, U.S. against the winner of Sweden-Latvia. So it's a great sports week, a great start to the sports week here in the Midwest. But
sweet,
kind of clapping the walls a little bit, guys. Like just ready for because all these games in Milan, they start at noon Mountain Time, and then they're done. And then, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my day? Right?
Well,
no NHL.
Tonight you can root against Kyle Whittingham's favorite college basketball team.
What if he's there? What if he's there just to get a look at some of these other Big Ten campuses?
Well, just bump him and say, "Get out of the way. You ain't much."
We're too Hoosier nice for that. We're too Midwest nice for that.
Well, go Boilermakers.
That's right. We say boiler up, PK, but that's close.
Okay, well, and Mike Folta, you stay away from those co-eds, okay?
I'll be at the alumni bar after, so nothing too crazy.
Mike, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Folta, radio voice of the Utah Mammoth, joining us right here on The Zone. All right, coming up, Mark Durant's going to join us at 9 o'clock, BYU basketball radio analyst. Where do the Cougars go from here? No Richie Saunders. What can they do without him? How can they replace him? We'll talk with him about that coming up at 9 o'clock. Right after the break, it's Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday. We'll give away a pair of tickets to see the Jazz and the Pelicans on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Gail Miller always used to use the word stewardship. I used to hear that a lot. And I like that kind of concept because sports franchises do mean more than just businesses. They mean more to the community. They mean more to the members, all the things than just businesses.
Sure.
We're not doing restaurant talk radio at kslrestaurant.com.
Right.
People are passionate. They're loyal. It hits different. And I do think that you owe it to your fans to run it correctly. That doesn't mean you have to rattle off a zillion championships.
No, of course not.
That doesn't mean that you have to have ultimate success all of the time. That doesn't mean any of that. That means that you kind of owe it to be a good representation of the community. So many people, the only thing they know about Cleveland is their joke football team.
Hear Jake Scott and Ben Anderson every day from 10 to noon on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK. It's a Utah Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. Will win a pair of tickets to watch the Utah Jazz take on the New Orleans Pelicans February 26th at the Delta Center. Call right now, 801-575-ZONE. And DJ PK brought to you in part by University of Utah Health. At University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org. Question of the morning, PK, and we're going to get back to this at 9 o'clock with Mark Durant. BYU, now what? Richie Saunders is done for the season with an ACL injury. Are the Cougars done too? Obviously, it sucks for him. He doesn't get to play in the NCAA tournament. This is his fourth and final year. They're in the Sweet 16. There were high hopes. You work on it all year, and now he's going to miss the best month of the season. With an ACL, obviously, he'll miss more than that, and we'll see how this impacts him getting ready for his pro career. The Cougars, are they done too? And we talked about this in the 7 o'clock hour, but for those of you joining us here at the 8 o'clock hour, the attitude has to be no. It's still a rare opportunity. You're still sitting here with two elite players, and now which guy on the bench emerges? And your big thing, and I don't even really disagree with this, is now they get a chance, an opportunity they have not been afforded. Kevin Young has decided in practices and in small segments in games that they weren't good enough to get minutes, but now there's, Saunders has been playing 35 minutes a game. So somebody's got to get a chance.
Well,
can they deliver?
There's a little bit of a history here. We go back 15 years. Later in the season, Brandon Davies gets taken away.
Yep.
And I think that kept them out of the Final Four.
It's not a reach.
I'll go to my grave because I covered all those games.
It was a Sweet 16 loss. They barely lost in the Sweet 16.
It was overtime, wasn't it? Florida.
Yeah, I think so. And then
It was a weaker regional.
And the next game was also a nail biter. I mean, there was very little difference in that region.
But they got to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And Jimmer was the player of the year. And I think DeBonce has a chance to be the player of the year. I don't know that he'll put up the stats because you have Rob Wright there. So is this team better than that team? They have higher top-end talent. Jimmer had an incredible run, obviously.
The pieces of the puzzle really fit around Jimmer.
Well,
but then they lost a big piece of the puzzle.
That's up to the coach to make sure the pieces fit.
Yeah.
And so you've got some guys who have been not utilized, whether you want to go underutilized, okay, that's up to you. But you've got, to me, 4 guys that really stand an opportunity. And actually you can argue 6 because you can go Rob Wright and AJ. That they'll, as crazy as it sounds, I'll need more out of you guys. Right?
That's not crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I get they were already getting a lot, but that's literally what happened in Colorado.
Right.
Rob Wright had just set his career high, and then he goes out and resets his career high.
Yeah, and he should be playing with the most confidence that he's ever played in his entire life.
Nobody's staying in front of that guy.
Right. And if he's hitting outside shots, I'll throw around, not quite, because I don't really like the word, but I'll approach it, and that's unguardable. And particularly if he finds ways to finish at the basket. And he's been using the left hand a little bit more and using angles a little bit more.
He's not afraid to create contact and get to the line. Right. We saw that.
Right. And so he's playing, obviously, at extremely high level. And AJ is still AJ, and he's really, really good, right? And then you got the 2 guys up front that are bangers. And Kevin Young talked about it after the game the other night, that he needs more out of Keita. And he's got a hand injury, but you should be able to catch the ball. You're there for rebounding and defense and screens and whatnot and lobs, and that's not going to change. And we know they've got, what do they call him, Beto, whatever it is.
Beto.
And so I thought he played probably his best game against Colorado. All right, so you got those guys. But the way I look at it, Boscovich, Kostic, Maup, and Russ.
Boop.
No, I'm going Maup.
Okay.
I like Maup better. It gives him a little bit more authority. Maup.
How about more out of Kennard Davis Jr., who's got to play a lot, but kind of a decoy standing in the corner. Sometimes he gets the ball, sometimes he doesn't, because a lot of times he's the 4th option out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they played him 39 minutes.
Right.
That's a long time. I mean, I know it's an OT game, so it was 39 out of 45.
I don't want to take away from what he brings on the other end and his junkyard dog nature. If he's got enough energy to give me some offense, more offense, okay. But I like his toughness.
But I thought you were right earlier this morning. I was trying to tee you up to make the point you made earlier.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about standing in the corner. I want to see him be more aggressive, take it to the
That's what I wanted you to say. That's what I'm trying to tee you up for. Yes, I totally agree.
But the other
point.
guys, they seem to be brought in for that specifically. I thought from an offensive standpoint, because of the overpowering nature of the big 3, Davis was pretty much forced to stand in the corner.
I get it.
Well, now, okay, so, but I don't want him to be using a ton of energy that he can't use on the other end.
I get it.
If he has enough energy to do that offensively, yes. I thought he was miscast offensively as just a stand in the corner, shoot threes guy.
It just comes down to you want so many shots for DeBonce, and you want so many shots for Wright, you want so many shots for Saunders, and a lot of time, whether he's told or whether he just feels it or whether it's a combination of the two, a lot of times you get the ball and he just move it to the next guy, which isn't bad when you're out there on the court with those other 3 guys. Right. And now you're going to be out there with 2 guys, and there is more of an opportunity, especially if the defense, and I think we're going to see more of this, just makes sense, that coaches are going to look at BYU now and say, we can't let DeBonce or Wright beat us. They're going to decide to take one of those guys away, and when defenses are moving all that, that is one of the best times to attack the hoop. Yeah. A guy's moving one way, you drive the other way, and he's athletic.
If he can
tough.
do it.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to do it a lot. But I think he can get some layups, and I think he can get himself to the free throw line.
And that's important because he's shooting like 36% and 28%. I think he's been miscast there, and it's a little bit unfair. But now he has an opportunity, and maybe he is the most logical one to fill some of the void. I don't know that any individual is going to replace the void.
Nobody. I don't believe that.
Maybe he is the leader of these other guys to be able to do that. So that's why I am not willing to just cast this season aside and say, oh, injuries got in the way. Because maybe you have to adjust expectations. And if you do get to the Sweet 16 in this circumstance, then maybe that is your ceiling. And, it'll be a what-ifer, as it is 15 years later with the Cougars, with the Brandon Davies situation. But, that's the facts of life. And there's probably some other teams who can say what-ifs too. And you just got to roll with it. That's part of sports. Davies wasn't an injury, and it was an unfortunate situation, obviously, whereas Saunders is an injury. We understand that. But you can still play that game. But let's see how far you can go. In a sense now, especially this week, everybody and their dog's expecting these guys to go 0-2. Everybody. Dudes, you're never going to be presented with an underdog. Imagine you being the number one pick, getting several $1 million to play college basketball, and now the whole world's doubting you.
It's an unusual situation.
Yeah.
Right. But
that's kind of cool.
It's a 40-minute game. The three-point shot's wildly unpredictable. DeBonsa, man, when he is on, he's just awesome. I mean, he's really good when he's not. I thought he was really good against Colorado, and he clearly wasn't on.
Well, his shot didn't fall as much.
His shot didn't fall, and, there were some clearly he was frustrated by some of the no calls. And
he's got to get over that, man. Play through that. I'm getting a little bit concerned about throwing up the arms and looking at the ref. Because
it doesn't make refs want to give you calls.
And that immediately puts you a step or two behind on the defensive
100%.
end. Let Kevin Young can work the refs. He's a pro. He literally is a pro.
Coaches know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was one, man, where he ran out. I thought he was going to get teed up there towards the end of the game. But that's fine, man. That's his job. His job is to work the referees. That's part of the deal.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah. He got to midcourt very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
He
must have been, when he was playing point guard for Chattanooga or wherever he played, he must have had some quicks.
Yeah.
Because he's like 44 years old, man. He moved. His lateral was nice.
It was good.
But that's fine. It's an emotional game, and he's the leader. And the thing about it, the good thing about him, he's not constantly whining about the referees. He's not going nuts all the time.
No, you got to pick your spots.
Yeah, and I think he does a really good job of doing that.
And I also think that working the referees can be super subtle. We all see it when a coach stomps on the court or the player throws up his arms.
Yeah.
But when you wait for the next dead ball and you walk over next to him and then you tie your shoe even though you don't need to tie it, and meanwhile you're working the ref, either you're barking at him or you're like, okay, dude, I'm not mad, but you owe me one. That was, you're not mad. And Stockton did that stuff all the time. And I didn't know it. Watching games on TV, he never showed people up. He had a lot to say, but he picked his spots later when the camera wasn't on him.
Yeah, I think you can get away with that at the pro ranks.
Yeah.
More so. The college ranks, they don't want to hear it.
But I still see sometimes I see refs interacting with star players like they want to be buddies and all that. And they will appreciate it if you talk to them about it when the camera isn't on and you're not super personal and you're not super hot.
Well, we used to sit right behind the bench, and they were playing New Mexico and Steve Cleveland, and the fouls were like 6-1, and it was like we didn't even get to the first media timeout. And I can remember the referee, and I know his name, and I won't say it. He said, "All right, take it easy. We're still early in this game."
Like, then you look at the halftime stats.
yeah, we'll get you. And he just said it to him. It's like, just a matter of fact.
And it was in Albuquerque?
No, it was here.
Oh, it was here. Okay,
it was yeah, because in Albuquerque you don't sit right behind the bench.
Okay.
You don't sit there right behind the bench now anyway.
So he's at a home game and it's like.
Yeah. It was an inordinate amount right off the bat.
Yeah.
And so he says something to him. He's come.
Yep.
And he said, okay, relax. We're just barely getting started here. It'll basically say, we will even it out without saying we will even it out. But I heard him, and that was the message. And so having Kevin Young do that, But this is a phenomenal opportunity. It sucks on every level that Saunders will be denied an opportunity that he can never get back the rest of his life. But with that in mind, this is a great opportunity for these other guys. If I'm going to practice today, as they tell us they don't practice on Sunday, or I guess today's Tuesday since we had off yesterday, and they could have practiced yesterday, and I'm sure they did. That if I'm we just mentioned 5 guys. 5 guys we mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
5 guys.
Each and every one of them has an opportunity now that wasn't there Saturday morning. And now it is. What are you going to do about it? I believe that, and this is across life, one of my core philosophies, if you work your butt off in whatever you're doing, you will get an opportunity to do something that you really want to do. Meaning, if you're at a lower level, and I've seen this, it drives me nuts. Guys, well, I want to be on air. All right, well, work your butt off in whatever you're doing right now. That's how you move up. And so you have this opportunity, each of these guys, to move up the pecking order. This is a golden opportunity. And you're all on scholarship because Kevin Young thought you were good enough. And Kevin Young, who coached many years in the NBA and has the recommendations literally of Hall of Famers. So he thought you were good enough. Now here's your opportunity to show it. This is a great situation at the expense of a horrible situation for a number of guys. And I am anxious and eager to see what they can do. I'm both.
People tend to use the word anxious incorrectly. And PK's kind of made a deal of that over the last 20 years.
Yes.
But you're stepping into it right now.
Right. But I do have some anxiousness about it. Are they capable? Because they have been essentially buried now for 2/3 of the season. But what can you do? And this old Kostic's kid, who is he? I'm not even going to attempt to figure it out. But he's come in limited time and hit a couple of big shots.
And now the time will be less limited. You had 5 guys off the bench. 5 guys now on a burger. Getting between 14 and 23 minutes of playing time. That's enough time to impact the game. Make some plays. Whether it's scoring, rebounding, defending, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time to
passing,
impact the game.
screening.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Diving on the floor.
And it tends to be, if you do all those other things, then when you get the shots, you're way more likely to make them. I had a coach once who said you have to lose yourself in the game. You have to be so obsessed with the defending, the diving on the floor, the screening. Then when the shot comes, then you're just in the flow of the game. You don't think about it. If you're running up and down the court, not doing all the other stuff, thinking, I got to be ready when my shot comes, you're just winding yourself up to shoot a line drive and miss it.
And I would view these other guys as competition.
Well, they are.
I'm going to be the one.
There's 3 guys who are playing all the time, and that leaves 7 guys for the other 40, 80 minutes in a game. Yeah. So at least 4, maybe 5 of the 7 guys will play. It's easy to see 1 or 2 guys getting edged out.
And it's not going to be me.
And 2 other guys are going to be the ones the coach looks at and like, I need him on the floor at the end of the game.
I came from around the world, literally, to have this opportunity, and I'm going to seize it.
And there's a lot of timeouts at the end of these big games late in the year, and they'll switch offense for defense. So you might be the guy at one end of the floor, but you got a couple weeks now to prove that you can be the guy at both ends of the floor, and you don't need to be subbed offense for defense because you're competing at both ends. There'll be a lot of free throws and a lot of timeouts at the end of these games.
My prediction is this Kostic kid,
he's going to be the one?
They carry him off the floor tomorrow, McHale.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
From 40?
We'll see.
25, okay.
Maybe he does the Ainge thing. He dribbles through 7 guys and lays it up at the buzzer.
Nice. All right, BYU at 4th-ranked Arizona. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, ESPN.
I'm going to watch that game.
And you'll hear it on the radio. Mark Durant, BYU basketball radio analyst, is here in about 15 minutes. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
This is JJ and Alex.
I got this.
I want you to go off a little bit more about how the rebuild is over. A trade like this hits harder when your team has come as far as the Jazz have come, and especially County George.
What the Jazz did today was take a huge leap forward to the point of not only is the rebuild over, this is who we are. We have potentially 3 All-Stars in our starting lineup with young players who have the potential to also become All-Stars, Ace Bailey and whoever they're going to take in this upcoming draft.
Right.
We're not only going to compete and try to make the playoffs next year, we're going to be a force. Take us seriously now. We have a lineup that you must take seriously. We're going to compete at a high level moving forward, and you don't have to worry about all this stuff and all this pain. The pain is gone. Now you're going to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This team's going to be really, really good next year as long as they stay healthy.
Catch JJ and Alex afternoons from 3 to 7 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK joins Scotty G Wednesday, noon to 3. Tim Daly Nissan Southtown, 11155 South Jordan Gateway in South Jordan. 111 South, 11155.
Did you see Mark Cuban's tweet?
He's been tweeting a lot lately. Which one?
Why the NBA should embrace tanking.
I did not see that tweet.
This goes to what I said. And by the way, man, I have to just, you set the record because we're talking about tanking with Locke on Friday. Your first question, Yak and I timed it, was 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
David James. I watched my daughter compete and cheer over the weekend in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
One routine is 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Nice. Well, that was my routine.
That opening question, 2 minutes and 30
I got to go back and listen to it.
Oh, jeez.
I got to go back and listen to that pure genius.
Yeah. I mean, I was refreshed from the minute and a half on because I took a nap.
Cool.
I'm
glad I could help you out.
That was
I'm a team player.
Forget about San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. Did I present it? I don't even remember it right now. Did I present a theory and then have him comment on it? What happened?
Well, you started in the 80s, and I played it for my wife. I said, listen to him. He starts in the 80s and goes all the way up. And once he went back to the tanking with the Rockets.
You figured I put my feet up?
I settled in.
It was a history lesson. It was a history lesson.
Yeah.
So, Cuban, this is what I've said all along. He quotes, when I got into the NBA, they thought they were in the basketball business. They aren't. They are in the business of creating experiences for fans. It's entertainment.
Right.
Fans.
Ryan Smith's totally on board with this. I've heard him talk about it.
Few can remember the score from the last game they saw or went to. They can't remember the dunks or the shots. What they remember is who they want to remember is who they were with. Their family, their friends, a date, blah, blah, blah. That's what makes it a special experience. Fans know their team can't win every game. They know only one team can win a ring. What they care about is their team's record is more than their record is hope. Hope that they will get better, have a chance to compete in the playoffs, and then maybe a ring. Now, he goes on. Tanking isn't the issue. Affordability and quality of game presentation are. The NBA should worry more about, for fan experience and tanking, it should worry more about pricing fans out of games and tanking. So the idea of hope, and the NBA wants to take away Jazz fans' hope.
What are you doing?
To you, Adam Silver, and whoever else gets in the way of that.
What did Jim Valano say? Was it Fanabla?
Fanabla?
Fanabla.
Yeah.
Fanabla.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. That's the Jazz fans and the team, but mostly the fans who are supporting it and paying and so forth. They haven't had this much hope since the year they lost to the Clippers. That's a fact. And now they have hope. One trade has changed the entire complexion of everything, and combined with keeping the pick and then getting a little lucky in the lottery. And you are ready to go. And the NBA wants to take that away from us?
Yeah.
Screw you and the horse you rode in on. And I don't know if that horse is from Spain or Mexico or wherever.
Cuban is right, and it is on full display depending on what time and where you enter the arena from. But if you enter the main entrance with like the Jazz note and the hockey logo of that corner,
sure, yeah,
right? The number of people,
the Northeast,
yes, Northeast corner. The number of people between if it's a 7 o'clock start, the number of people between 6:30 and 7 taking photos there is phenomenal. And that is part of the experience. I've walked by that so many times, and I've seen so many people so happy.
I'm sure you've posed for pictures so many times.
No, I really haven't.
Oh, bull.
And that's part of that. It's the whole experience and the memory. The game hasn't tipped off. You're literally not even in the arena, and people are already happy as they step onto the property. And that is the goal. That is why he renovated the arena and built that whole atrium entryway. It's the whole experience. It's why they opened up the arena. You see it when you first walk in, that sense of expectation. You get it when you walk through a tunnel into a baseball stadium as you go to these stadiums for the first time.
First time I want to walk right into where I can see the field.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that first, and we've all had it. It's that kind of aha walking. I remember the first time I walked through one of the tunnels into the Rose Bowl. It's for a regular season game. It didn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, I'd seen it on TV so many times, and now I'm there. I'm in Pasadena.
Yeah, I got it.
And it's all experience. There's just so many examples. But the next time you go to a Mammoth game or a Jazz game, you see it right out front. And Ryan Smith's talked about this, so he's on board with that. I just wonder how many other owners in the league are on board with it. I mean, it comes down to other people want that draft pick.
Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, yeah, and I also think that now we're seeing about the overs and unders and gambling and whatnot. Yeah. And some sites are getting beat up on that. Tough. Screw you.
FanDuel and DraftKings.
Yeah.
And Sam Presti in Oklahoma City. We know who's motivated to make noise. No one's complaining about Sacramento sitting 6 out of 7 and Washington sitting there 2 stars.
Keep doing what you're doing.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Mark Durant, BYU basketball radio analyst. How are the Cougars going to adjust without Saunders? We'll talk with him next. Stay with us.